What's good with YouTube? Y'all already know Big Flocka with a convict's perspective. And I'm gonna smash, dash, and slide on through with a whole lot of energy, man. What's cracking, people? So please hit the like, subscribe, comment, do all things to help support this channel. Let's keep it moving forward. Hit that bell notification for future fire content, man. And we're gonna discuss about a murder that happened a couple years ago of an ex-metal, Donald Ortiz, little man from fucking Whittier. As we all know, he was killed in Chino, and it was a really interesting way in which they did it. Now, the individual charged and who just went to trial, that's why we're discussing it, was an individual named Cesar Palomino, right? He was allegedly from Barrio Pobre, from Long Beach. Now, apparently, according to witness testimonies, he came in a business suit, right, with a business card, right, and was portraying like he was going to, ask him like he was a detective that he wanted to interview him about a homicide. And I guess the last statement I think he made was, do you really want to talk in front of her? And as that happened, he wanted a gun. The female that was with Little Man witnessed him get shot right on the spot. She allegedly testified in this case. Upon them arresting him, I think they arrested him in Las Vegas. They went through a search record, right? They found searches that were looking up Donald Ortiz, Little Man, Mexican Mafia dropout, and all kinds of different conversations that occurred. Now, they also were able to use his location on his cell phone that he traveled from 2:30, 15 miles away, and the murder happened at 4 o'clock in the same vicinity. So they had all kinds of stuff on this case, man, that didn't look good for his defense, man. But the thing that was kind of interesting about this case is that even a lot of these members of this particular group used to write and say, man, this dude, he won't go away. He not only came out one time, signed the chrono to go out to the main line and got hit, but he did it again, got hit twice. And so even though he was on the lista, there was a little bit of admiration and respect. Now, allegedly, this dude, Cesar, was revealed under recordings from the county jail that he told someone, if you eat a butterfly, you'll become a butterfly. Now, we already know what the Mariposa stands for. You know what I'm saying? The wings and everything, the M. So they believe that this was contracted out for him to do in order to become pulled. Now, allegedly, they also found communications between him and another alleged member named Snuffy that they were communicating before this hit. Okay, so there's a lot of questions, man. I could have sworn that in what I did research was that Snuffy was even related to Little Man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not 100% accurate, but there's someone was related somehow to him. And so you had even had Palomino's dad come into the court and testify against his son, not in a negative fashion, but when they asked him, like, look, who is this picture of? And they showed a picture of the suspect. He identified him as his son. Okay. Now, there was also one more person. Let me look him up who that was also involved in this case. Let me see. He has priors for carrying a shotgun. He got busted for when he was transporting stuff from the port of entry in Mexico. He's done a lot of stuff, this Palomino dude. He was arrested with 28 cellophane wrapped bundles of marijuana, equaling out to $60,000. And he admitted that he had did this for $2,000 to the Los Angeles port of entry. Okay, let me see. Who else is on this? See, they ended up getting a geofence warrant, which requires a technology company to turn over a list of all cell phones active in a particular area. So there's a thing called a geofence warrant. And when you get this warrant, the cell phone companies have to turn over any usage of any cell phones. And that's how they were able to identify them. Now, they also had surveillance video that the killer drove a white Infiniti Q50 sedan. Combing through the data from the warrant, they found only 3 phone accounts that had been at the several locations where the Infiniti had been spotted. So that's how they got this. They didn't get this through no witnesses or anything, but through old-fashioned research and going through it now. And based upon the fact that everything's computerized, it's easy for them to narrow things down. Okay, so let me see, Blanco. Let me see. They found this too. Okay. They arrested him in April 2022. They found also a black blazer and a black Italian dress boots. They resembled the same person that was in the camera. Let me see, what else? And see, this is where he was told, a relative is the one that told him that he said that they told me if you eat a butterfly, you become a butterfly. And it was Manuel Quintero whom they described that he was associating with as well. I guess they had an individual named David Mendeville, right, who also was set to testify, man, on this case, but ended up pleading the fifth. I guess they were trying to get him for, I guess he pled the fifth, but he had made some statements or some communications. So, you know, man, like I said, man, you know, this is kind of an eye opener, man, like to the extreme of how you can do something that's expected, but also sloppy at the same time, because just in reading the evidence that they have, it doesn't look too good for the case, man. I'm not saying that the alleged suspect did it and he just went to trial. I don't know what the verdict is yet, but it doesn't look too good, man. I mean, the one thing about law enforcement when it comes to murders, right, they're going to connect all dots. Now, when it comes to a murder and involves a prison organization or associates, they're going to go even further because they're going to try to tie in all links that are associated with it into a bigger indictment. The bigger the indictment, the more fucking prestige and honor that law enforcement agency is going to get, as well as more fucking decorations and so forth that those that are involved in the investigation will get. You know what I mean? It seems like in the last 2-3 years, there's been a lot of fucking hits that have gone down, both on the streets and in prison. You know what I'm saying? And this was one of those situations where someone's past caught up to them. You know, it is what it is sometimes. You know, if you are part of something, you know what the expectations are. You know you took a blood oath. And when they catch up to you, they're going to do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, some people will turn the page on for so long, but it depends how you're going to act out there. If you're out there meddling in their affairs, their business, there's going to be a lot of people come knocking. But if you just go out there and you go low profile, you stay away, you stay out of the mix. You know what I mean? A lot of times they're going to try to turn the page because nowadays, as you can tell with all these criminal organizations, man, as soon as the bloodshed starts to come, it brings unwanted attention, man. So as contrary as people may think, these organizations have already been recognized as being treacherous and being with that action as far as knowing no boundaries of where they're going to go. Now, at the same token, nobody wants that unwanted attention. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, you know, it depends the circumstances and situations. Sometimes when your ticket's called, your ticket's going to be called, and that's just is what it is, man. Little man was out there for a long time. You know what I'm saying? I heard rumors of him, you know, trying to infiltrate and portray himself to be someone out there as well. I don't know how accurate that is, but a couple people I know from down south told me that, and that's always going to get you fucking on the radar right there. You know what I'm saying? There's some people who can go out there and, you know, they may have dropped out, stepped away, but as long as they're not fucking sitting there really creating any type of fucking friction, they're not using that fucking label or title, a lot of times they're going to get by. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, with the NF up north, you know, there was dudes out there that have been dropped out for a long time, but they're not doing anything that's going to become a disturbance or detriment on the NF's functions. They're just fucking in the shadows, or they're doing something positive. You know what I'm saying? One of them was an individual named Rabbit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows him. He was, if you're from San Jose, you know. Okay. Rabbit, at one time, you know, we were talking about potentially taking him out. And the reasons why we didn't was because he was doing positive work. He had made some statements previously during the indictments that happened in the 90s. But he had kind of focused himself on helping people out, the community. And the thing is that we felt this, that if we took this dude out, it was going to bring unwanted attention, unwanted coverage, because he was on NBC. He was trying to unite Norteños and Sureños, you know, bringing people to church, you know what I'm saying, and doing all this positive stuff, man, that if we would have took him out, you know, the image the NF would have got out in the streets would have been tainted. You know what I'm saying? So as long as he didn't become a threat on what our operations were out there, and he wasn't intervening in any type of criminal activities out there, we basically turned the page. You know what I'm saying? Which meant, yeah, we know we can't accept what happened, but at the same time, is it worth really going after him? It wasn't. You know, he ended up, his case ended up being kind of interesting. They found him in, I think it was Penitentiary Creek. This is around the same time that they found a teacher over there in San Jose. And the interesting thing was, say the teacher was found, right? They took the teacher to the morgue brought the family down there, I heard. And because they had Rabbit's fucking ID on them, the teacher had Rabbit's ID in his pocket, but the body wasn't Rabbit's. They found Rabbit a couple days later. So when I heard that, I was suspecting that maybe this was potentially a fucking serial killer at the time. You know what I mean? This was in 2020, I think. Robert Rios, look it up, June of 2020. And what people don't tell you, though, like I'm saying, is there was multiple bodies found in those creeks at that time. Robert Rios was running the pro house for parolees. A teacher, they were both found dead. Robert's wallet was with the fucking teacher. But that was not put out in the news and all that. I know this because I know people personally that were in contact during the investigation that were friends of Robert's. You know what I mean? And no one talks about it. So see, like I said, man, you never know what could happen at any given time out there. Sometimes everybody's going to have to be in a situation where you're going to have to pay the piper. You're going to have to pay to play. You know what you signed up for. It is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's just life sometimes. You know, the life expectancy in this lifestyle is short-lived, man. You know, either you're going to be catching life, right? Or you're going to end up fucking flipping. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of times, the reasons why you see people flipping is because these are people that are already out there on the Gaius. They don't have a life sense. See, those that are already doing life, they have no incentive to tell. That's why a lot of them do not flip. Every once in a while, they get tired of that life and they think, okay, I have a chance at parole, so they fucking lock it up. But for the most part, dudes that are already doing life, they're not going to flip. It doesn't serve them a purpose to fucking flip. They've accepted their life. But when you have people out there that parole out to the streets that have a little bit of status and rank, and they start to do all the bidding and put themselves in jeopardy, 9 times out of 10, you get these guys who once they get caught up and the cuffs get put on and they're in a leadership position, they feel used. Next thing you know, they turn turco. It is what it is, right? Anyways, this is a quick spill, man, about Little Man, and I kind of digressed a little bit off topic, but I just wanted to show how these type of scenarios happen. With that said, it's your boy Flacco, Convict's Perspective. I'm out.